Greetings, YouTube. The Doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons and Dragons. And today on the Doctor Spell Prognosis, we're talking about the spell Animate Object. It's our first 5th level spells. We're coming around the bend. We're coming to the end of all the spells. We are on page, this is the last spell, I think, on page 17 of the D&D Beyond spell list. So we are way more than halfway done. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or a comment. All right, we're giving this spell a C+. It is a 5th level spell that is usable by bards, sorcerers, wizards, artificers, and forge domain clerics. No warlocks, but it is based for bards, sorcerers, wizards, artificers. Artificers are not going to be able to cast this until they're really high level. Let's see here. Let's look at the artificer. I think it's like 15th level or something stupid like that. 5th level, 17th level. 7 because they're a half caster. So they're not going to be able to cast this for quite some time. But sorcerers, wizards, and bards will be able to cast this at 9th level. So it is a 5th level spell. It takes 1 action. It has a range of 120 feet, which is really good. Verbal somatic. It is a duration of 1 minute, or with concentration. You do want to concentrate on this spell. However, it has a self-limiting duration in that the thing that you create has a certain number of hit points, and when they go to 0, it's gone. So it probably won't last for an entire minute. Unless you are using it for other purposes outside of combat. So, objects come to life. You can choose up to 10 non-magical objects within range that are not being worn or carried. Again, worn or carried things are immune to almost everything, including a lot of fire and acid damage, apparently. So, medium targets count as 2, large objects count as 4, so you could create 2 large. Huge count as 8, so you could create a huge and a medium. You can't animate any object larger than huge. Each target animates and becomes a creature under your control until the spell ends or until it is reduced to 0 hit points, like I said. So essentially it is a bag of hit points that can get in the way. It can do some damage. They actually have pretty good attack roll to hit. The damage is okay, but the 2 hit rolls are actually not too bad. As a bonus action, you can mentally command any creature you made with the spell. So it takes a bonus action to command. Most of these, like summoning type of creation spells, all the other ones, you tell it to do something on, without any kind of action. This one is a bonus action. So it is going to eat that up, and you do have to pay attention to your action economy. So within 500 feet, if you control multiple creatures, you can command any or all of them at the same time, issuing the same command to each one. You decide what action the creature will take. Defend me, go attack that thing, open that door, blah, blah, blah. And where it will move during its next turn, or you can issue a general command, such as guard a particular chamber or corridor, which it's going to do for an entire minute. So maybe you're being chased, and you need to slow some things down. You can stick that thing and then take off and hope that a minute is going to be enough to do that. So if you issue no commands, the creature only defends itself against hostile creatures. Once given an order, the creature continues to follow it until its task is complete, probably until you give it a next order as well. So these are the stats right here. So the huge creature has 80 hit points. It has an armor class of 10. So that's why I say this thing is not going to last for more than a minute. It's probably going to last a couple of rounds because it's very easy to hit, and it'll take that damage pretty quickly. It does have a +8 to hit. It does do 2d12 plus 4 damage, which is 17 average damage, which is not too bad. That's not too bad. The large creature is 50. It's a +6. You can do 2 of these. And the medium, I don't know why. I guess small and tiny creatures each count for 1 animated creature each, but it doesn't say up here what they count towards. So it just says medium, large, and huge. So there is that. I mean, you could create a whole bunch of tiny creatures. They do have 20 hit points each, and they have an 18 armor class. They still have a +8 to hit. And each one is going to do about 7 points of damage. So, if you're animating 10 of these, they still have a big bag of hit points for a tiny creature. That's pretty good, and they're gonna like they could do a bunch of damage. So this just talks about the stat blocks. Now with the movement, its speed is 30 if the object lacks legs or other appendages it can use for locomotion. Instead has a flying speed of 30 feet and can hover. So you could animate a bunch of tiny things without legs and they would have a fly speed. So otherwise it walks and has a speed of 30 feet. So if you animated a table or a chair, it would walk. But let's say you animated forks or knives, then they would fly. If the object is securely attached to a surface or a larger object, such as the chain bolt to a wall, its speed is 0. And this doesn't say that you have to animate exactly the same thing. So you could animate 10 tiny things and each one of them be different. Now here's the biggie. This is the one thing I do like about this. They all have blind sight 30 feet. So if you've got an invisible target and you don't know where it is, you could say, go in there and find the invisible target and kill it. And they'll be able to find it because they have blind sight, 30 feet. It's blind beyond that distance, but it'll go and zip around the room until it finds it, and then it'll go after it. So that is actually a great way to use this spell. When it drops to 0, it reverts to its original form, and any remaining damage carries over to its original form. You command an object to attack. It makes a single melee attack against a creature within 5 feet. It makes a slam attack with an attack bonus and bludgeoning damage determined by its size. And the GM might rule that a specific object, such as a knife, does slashing or piercing damage. And then at 6th level or higher, you can animate 2 additional objects. So I really think either this one or the tiny, small, and really the tiny, or the large and the huge, but really the huge are probably your best bets. This is just one big giant bag of hit points that has a really good bonus to hit. And this is 10 objects. If you were to cast this at 6th level, it would be 12 that have a pretty decent armor class. They're okay with hit points, and they have a great bonus to hit. And if they all hit, then they all do damage, and they have blind sight. So, all right, that's what I got for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.